We've been traveling over 20,000 miles with the Airstream, and Daniel's been driving the entire time. I've been a little apprehensive about getting behind the wheel with 10,000 pounds in tow.
Okay.
It's bound to happen eventually.
Keep your fingers crossed. There's no guarantee this is going to go well.
I'm doing the dishes a little more like Girl Scout style today because the campground that we were at this week didn't have a sewer hookup, and Daniel is concerned that because we've used 60% of our fresh tank, that if I used any more and we went down this really big hill to get to the dump station, that there might be a flood.
We've got a little bit of wait for the dump station here at the campground, but it's right next to Laguna Seca, and this is literally the best spot ever to wait for a dump station. They're racing on the track as we're waiting. Clearly I was too distracted by the cars to appropriately pull the camper closer to the dump, because now it doesn't reach. Now I need the extension hose. I did that. This is exactly why you should always have your own high quality gear. They've got a hose here at the station, but the end looks like this, so you're not able to screw it on. All right, now that we've dumped the tanks, it's time to head to our next destination.
We're officially headed to the Airstream Rally in Lebanon, Tennessee. And as we're in Monterey, California, we have over 2,500 miles to journey in less than 4 weeks. There's going to be a ton of long towing days, and splitting it up between the two of us may simply be a necessity.
We've been driving on Interstate 680 for a while now here in California, and as you can see, it's pretty bumpy.
I think that this highway needs at least one rest area per like 3 hours. We haven't seen any. Gas stations, it's kind of hard to tell, unlike some of the other highways that we've driven on, where like the big trucker gas stations are. Yeah, I just don't even know what to say about that. You'll see like a gas symbol with a D, obviously for diesel, but then it just looks like it just drops you in the middle of a neighborhood, which isn't very comforting. So luckily we have a huge tank and don't need gas. But I mean, it would be bad to just stop and stretch.
And it's definitely lunchtime. And since we haven't found a rest stop, we haven't eaten. And I'm not like Snickers level hangry yet, but could be a problem in the relatively near future.
We just arrived at our Harvest Host location, and this is something you typically don't see at Harvest Host. Full hookups. I'm talking sewer, water, and a 50 amp hookup. That's pretty cool.
And it gets even better than that. Check out this view.
Sample the goods from the local business, aka wine time. Now that is a serious wine door. Come on in. Cheers to travel days.
There's art up on the walls here. One in particular is currently my spirit animal, especially after an almost 5-hour drive with no rest stops, no lunch, no anything. This one image encapsulates how I feel at this very moment.
Joke with campers that when you stay at a Harvest Host, you end up spending more than you actually would at a campground. For us, our standard go-to is we're trying to spend about $60 a night on a campground as a max, and tonight here at this Harvest Host they had really darn good wine, so we spent about $100 bucks. $40 more than we would have normally, but we got 2 bottles of wine to go, and it is California after all, so kind of hard to complain. With wine secured, we're just gonna chill, hang out for the rest of the night, maybe watch some Netflix since we have full hookups, and relax because we have another long travel day ahead of us tomorrow. And true story, if you bought 2 bottles of wine, you got 1 tasting for free, so it's just supporting a local business. After getting some work done this morning, knocking out a workout, getting some lunch in, we are ready to move to our next spot. Last night was officially our last night in California, and you know what that means. California officially secured, which is our 18th state in the Airstream, and over the next couple of weeks as we are making these long hauls, we are actually going to hit 1, 2, 3, 4 more before we get to Tennessee. Woohoo! Our pit stop in Nevada, and we did the world's quickest unhook because we thought that it was gonna rain, and now the weather seems kind of perfect. We're set up, so now it's Chinese fire drill time, because when Daniel has to drive all day like this, I'm required to drive when we're not hooked up. So we found a local pizza joint and we're gonna go grab dinner, because making dinner on travel days, it just never happens, no matter what the best intentions are.
That's so true.
But before we go to dinner, it's time to fill up the truck. And Daniel couldn't be happier about this, because we're now in Nevada, which means we won't be paying almost $5 a gallon for diesel anymore.
It's my happy dance, because I'm paying $1 less a gallon. Okay, so here's the deal. We found a local pizza shop and we're super excited about it because it looks amazing. But for the life of us, we cannot figure out how to pronounce this town.
Winnemucca?
Winnemucca? Winnemucca?
Daniel has had wine on the brain since California, so...
Wine, yeah.
It has 2 N's, I think it's winning. Either way, this town is adorable.
It is. All right, turns out the name is Winnemucca. And you know what? It's not my fault. It's an Indian name, and they can be difficult. I come from Orlando, and we have a place called Hatchie. And growing up, that name got butchered a lot too.
Now that he's gotten that out of his system, it's time for dinner.
I'm starting to feel like we live off pizza lately, but the crust on this is pretty freaking fantastic.
One of the things I do before a long drive, especially one like tomorrow, is I scope out the route. And I basically look for any points of failure. And by failure, I mean, am I gonna wind up down some side road, going straight up a mountain?
Right, we got leftovers on purpose so that we would have travel food tomorrow, and that was yum. Back to the airstrip. but it's time for bed because Daniel and I are having a very serious conversation about maybe letting me drive the Airstream at least a couple of hours tomorrow. So not only do I need extra rest, Daniel's poor nerves probably need a solid 100 million more hours of sleep. So we're just gonna relax, get to bed early before we hit the road to Park City, Utah. Travel day number 3, and Daniel is going to at least let me run around in the park with the Airstream and see if I feel confident enough to take her any further. But in order to do that, he said I have to actually be able to align the truck with the hitch. So we're gonna give that a try first. I'm pretty excited.
Wish us luck. About 6 feet. You're too far to the passenger side. You have to move forward and come back towards the driver's side a little bit. Inch it back just a little bit more. Keep coming. Good, right there.
I so got this. I so got this.
Okay, now you have to turn on the truck lights, and then all the lights for the trailer will come on. Perfect.
It's gonna be great. Now that he's moved, I'm just gonna take it wide because I'm very big.
Right.
So does the Airstream come out further than my truck does? Like
Yes.
width-wise?
Definitely.
Okay, I thought so just from seeing this.
Yeah.
Okay, so no cars are coming. So
Yeah.
I'm just gonna take it
Wide.
wide.
Yep. Now your obstacle would be the fence, which you're fine. Yeah. Cool. And you're gonna make this first left here. And go slow through all the turns, especially when you have obstacles like this.
Anytime I'm turning to
Either
this
side.
side or this side,
Yep.
I have to worry about the trailer hitting whatever the obstacles are on the side that I'm turning.
That's right.
It's really, really weird not having a rear view mirror and having a camera instead of that. But other than that, so far, Daniel's a good teacher.
All right, well, we're getting on the highway. This is happening.
I feel good about it. I don't know how Daniel's feeling.
I feel about it. I feel about it. That's what I feel. I feel something. How you feeling? We're about an hour into the trip. You've been driving an hour on the highway now.
I'm feeling very, very proud of myself.
So what is it like towing the Airstream for the first time? Liberating? Empowering? It's basically terrifyingly awesome. It felt so good knowing that if anything ever happened to Daniel and he couldn't drive, that I could do it. Like most things in life, the hardest part is getting started. And my only real regret is that I waited this long to do it.
I did it!
Feel good to be back in the driver's seat?
Maybe a little bit. Although you did an amazing job. So you ready to move to Utah? Well, then I have some good news because we're moving to Utah in less than 6 minutes. Our new address will be at the Mountain Valley RV Resort for 5 nights. If you want to see our Park City adventure, make sure you subscribe because we are going to have an amazing time here and you don't want to miss it.